Well, let me re-emphasize what you just said, because that's a great truth. The fight for human dignity is the fight for justice. You cannot have dignity without fight. And human dignity, John Calvin has taught me, we have dignity because we are created in the image of God. One of the amazing things that I learned from John Calvin is when he says, when God looks at us, God's creation, it is as if God looks in a mirror. So God sees God's self in us. The consequence of that is therefore that any onslaught upon the dignity of any of God's children is an onslaught upon the worthiness and the holiness of God's self. That's an amazing thing. That's an amazing thing. I draw another conclusion from that. So if God sees God's self in us, that means, and any onslaught upon the dignity of God's children is an onslaught upon the worthiness and the holiness of God's self, then it means that it is true, as John Calvin says, any injustice done to any of God's children is a wound inflicted upon God's self. So for me that means, so if I fight against injustice, if I heal a wound in a human being by restoring their dignity, by fighting for justice or making things right, that also means that I'm actually healing the wounds of God. Now, that's a conclusion that I still cannot wrap my mind around it completely. But the truth of it hits me every single time. So when I fight for justice, I am fighting for the healing of the wounds of God. That is something why I love the Reformed tradition. There is no other tradition that puts it in that way. And that is utterly true. It's utterly convincing. It's utterly foundational for me. So I do not see why there should be a debate between restoring dignity and doing justice. Just I cannot see how dignity can be restored while in the process of reconciliation. So let's see that reconciliation is also a process of restoring the dignity of human beings. But how that can happen without remorse and repentance and repair and reparation, which leads to restoration and which finally leads to healing. So we cannot skip any of those steps in the restoration of our human dignity if we do not do it right and take it step by step by step without skipping anything. So for me, fighting for dignity has always been a fight for justice. I think people are wasting time by bringing in useless philosophical arguments, whereas all that is demanded of us is to do what is right in the eyes of God and right to the benefit of those who are our neighbors or children of God.